is that with this podcast right here, it all starts with the first C, which is the courage. Have the courage to go out there and do what it takes to get yourself to the next level. Stay committed to that vision and do it consistently over time, and you will develop the four C's to confidence, and you'll get yourself to the next level, right? So this was a nice, short, and powerful podcast, but I wanted to make sure that everybody understood this because I know how important confidence, something that a lot of people haven't started to do yet. And once you start to step out of that comfort zone and you have the courage to try those new things, you have the courage to start putting yourself in front of the cameras, you have the courage to meet new people and start telling people about your business, then that's when things start to happen for you. That's how your confidence starts to increase. The thing is, most people, they stay in that little box, they stay in that little section in their lives, and they never really grow out of that. And that's why they lack confidence, because they stay in that comfort zone. Okay, but when you start to step out and you have the courage to step out of that box, you have the courage to, do the things that other people aren't willing to do. But remember, when you start to do the things that other people aren't willing to do, you'll start to get results that they can't have. Because the only way you can get results that other people can't have is if you do things that they've never done. That's the truth. Like, you got to think about it. The people that have all the money in the world right now, the reason why they have it is because they were willing to do things that we've never did. They were willing to wake up early every single day. They were willing to read the books. They were willing to take the risk. They were willing to talk to people about their business. Okay, they were willing to take those leap of faith. They were willing to make that, just that investment or whatever it was, because they had the courage. And everything starts with courage. In order for you to build confidence, you have the courage. You have to have the courage to go out there and do it. And that goes for everybody that's listening to this podcast right now, is you must have the courage to go out there and do what it takes to start to build that confidence, because lack of confidence is one of the biggest dream killers that we have nowadays. And I know that once we start to develop that confidence, everything starts to change, because I remember what it did for me. I remember when I lacked confidence. I remember when I was scared to tell people about what I did. I remember when I was lacking the confidence to take that leap of faith. And guess where I was? My bank account looked like gas prices. I was struggling financially. I was depressed. I was in a very low vibration because I didn't have the confidence to go out there and do those things to make me better. I didn't have the confidence to go out there and talk to people about my business. So because I didn't have that confidence, guess what? I was in a very, very low place in my life. So the courage is the first C. And you gotta have the courage to go out there and do what it takes to get yourself to the next level. All right. Now, the second C to confidence is commitment. Okay. The second C to confidence is commitment. Okay. Now, understand this: you must be committed to this lifestyle. You must be committed to getting yourself out of that comfort zone. Like I said, your comfort zone is your broke zone. In your comfort zone, all you do is die, because you're either growing or you're dying. And trust me, you do not grow in your comfort zone. So that's why you must be extremely, extremely committed every single day to take one step outside of your comfort zone. And once you're outside that comfort zone and you are in the uncomfortable zone, you want to continue to take steps every single day outside and get further and further away from that box. You want to get so far away from your comfort zone box that you no longer see it anymore. And you got to be committed to it. I was committed for months, years now, on stepping out of that comfort zone. My comfort zone doesn't even exist anymore. I can't even see my comfort zone anymore. You know why? Because I've stepped so far outside of my comfort zone that I can't even see it anymore. But why did it happen? Because I was committed. I was committed to building confidence. I was committed to building my business. I was committed to putting my family in a better position. I was committed to becoming the best version of myself. So the only way that you can ever get to where you want to go in life is if you're committed. But like I said, it starts with the first C, the courage. It starts with the courage to go out there and do it. But yeah, you can go out there and do it one day, okay, and not do it the next day. Because I know a lot of people like that. I know a lot of people that they had the courage to do it one day. They had the courage to do one video. They had the courage to talk to that one person, but they didn't stay committed to that vision. They didn't do it consistently enough. They didn't do it enough in order for them to see the massive breakthroughs. Remember, in order for you to have breakthroughs, the compound states is that you have to do something consistently enough in order for you to have a breakthrough. Okay, so you gotta have commitment every single day to stepping out of the comfort zone. And that's what I've had. People ask me, Nano, how do you have so much confidence to speak in front of people? First off, I had the courage. Second off, I was committed to making it happen. Okay. And once you are committed to making it happen, everything changes. Everything will absolutely change because that's what it takes. All right. So the second C is commitment. Now, the third C is the one that we're all very familiar with, and nothing can happen without this C, which is consistency. Consistency, 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 consistency. You guys see that these mornings when in a podcast, they drop every Monday. Okay. I'm consistent with these. But mind you, guys, these are just my podcasts. My morning calls happen Monday through Friday, 5 days a week at 9 a.m., rain or shine, wherever I'm at in the world. Why? Because it is consistently happening. Why? Because I understand in order for you to accomplish massive, massive amounts of success, you must do something consistently over time in order for you to accomplish something. So what did I do? First, right? Let's go back to the first C. You got to have the courage to step out of the comfort zone. Boom, you got the courage, right? Now, the second C is you must be committed. Once you're committed, okay, to doing it every single day and doing whatever it takes, then you'll continue to grow. But you have to do it consistently every single day. You got to step out of your comfort zone consistently, day in and day out, no matter what it takes. You consistently step out of that comfort zone and watch what starts to happen. Watch the amount of success that you start to accomplish. You know, the problem with most people is that they don't do it consistent enough. They do it 2 days, yes, 3 days, no. 1 week they go hard, the next week they don't go hard. 1 month they're all in, the next month they're not all in. Guys, there's no possible way that you're going to accomplish success doing that. No way. It has to be every single day, Monday through Sunday, rain or shine, whether you're going through problems, whether you're dealing with financial situations, whether your girlfriend or boyfriend left you, you work. You do what it takes because at the end of the day, you're the one that's in control of your destiny. Not your mom, not your dad, not your mentor, no one else. You are in control. No one can build your confidence up for you but yourself. And that's something that I had to understand. I would wonder, yo, how do my mentors have all this confidence to speak in front of 20,000 people? How do my mentors have this confidence to talk to anybody about their businesses? How do my mentors have this confidence? Where do they get it from? And you know, my mentor was telling me, like, confidence is something that you develop. I can't develop it for you. You understand what I'm saying? I can't develop your confidence for you. That's something that has to come from you. That confidence has to come from you, family. It can't come from no. You don't think I wish I could just be like, here's Nano's confidence, put it into your body, and now you have all the confidence in the world. I wish I could do that, but I can't. Confidence is something that's earned, not given. Confidence is something that is earned, not given. But it all starts with the first C of confidence, which is courage. Number one, okay, you got to have the courage to go out there and do it. Number two, you got to be committed every single day to making a change. Number three, you got to be consistent. And then the last C of confidence is confidence, the fourth one. Okay, that's now where you have the confidence to speak in front of people, right? Now you have the confidence to talk about your business. You have the confidence to do leadership calls for your team. You have the confidence to travel the world and do what. All right, let's get today's call started. Familia, Grand Rising. Oops, my thing fell right here. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I was holding up my phone, fell, so I do apologize about that. All right, here we go. All right, guys, Grand Rising, happy Thursday. It is July 24th, and I am so excited to be here. I am calling into all of you guys from St. Louis, Missouri, also known as the Lou. I'm super excited to be here. So far, St. Louis has treated me absolutely amazing. I've been very blessed and fortunate to have the best team, the best host in the world, and we've been treated like absolute luxury here. And it feels good. You know, this is the fourth stop on the Vision Unleashed tour, and we're feeling so good to be here in St. Louis right now. We arrived yesterday. I was able to meet one of my childhood inspirations, one of my biggest inspirations. If you guys know him, his name goes by Inky Johnson. Inky Johnson, and Inky has absolutely shifted my life. My brother is it's so funny how it works because I was leaving to go pick up my sister at her terminal, and my brother Zion calls me and he's like, "Yo, I just met Inky Johnson." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, bro, he's right here sitting in front of us at Starbucks because we had stopped at Starbucks while we waited for the rest of the team to land." And I was like, he was like, "Yo, you gotta come meet him, man." And he don't even know because how much Inky Johnson has changed my life. So he's just calling me to tell me. But deep down inside, he don't even know that Inky Johnson is one of the reasons why today I'm an international speaker, and one of the reasons why I've never quit this journey. So I run back and I go up to him and I'm like, "Yo, Inky," I just introduced myself to him and I told him how big of an inspiration he's been. How much his videos have gotten me through the tough times. Because if anybody knows Inky Johnson's story, I highly recommend everybody to go listen to that video that he has on YouTube. It's called Inky Johnson, It's Not About You. And basically he talks about his story, about how he had an injury and his football career came to an end and he wasn't able to play football. He actually had an injury where they had to amputate his left arm. And today he's a motivational speaker. He travels the world, telling people about his story and inspiring others. And for me, that was always such an inspirational story because I grew up playing baseball my whole life. Similar to him, he grew up playing football his whole life. And a lot of us, we use our parents as inspirations, to keep us going. And same for me. And his story was so powerful because he never quit. And he says something that he said his mom gave him one of his biggest pieces of advice, which was, whatever you start, you finish. And those words, yesterday I went back and listened to it again, and I actually shed a tear listening to it myself because I realized that a lot of what I would listen to in that audio all those years ago, literally we're talking about over 8 years, 9 years ago, still to this day I live by it, which was, whatever you start, you finish. The process is more important than the product, right? You never quit no matter what, because if you quit, one day, that's going to become a habit, and one day you're going to have kids, you're going to have a family, and then that'll haunt you in those days. And now that I look back at my journey, they say that you can't connect the dots going forward, you can only connect them going backwards. Connecting the dots going backward, I think about the reason why I've never quit. So many people that I've started with, so many individuals that I've been in this journey with, I've watched them quit in front of me. And I've watched them quit because of tough times and because of things that have happened. And the reason why I've never quit, obviously I'm very strong-hearted and I'm ambitious, but I believe a lot of it also has to do with those foundational messages that were installed in me very early on, which was, you whatever you start, you finish. And no matter what happens, the process is more important than the product, and you never quit. And I've never quit on this journey no matter what. And it's gotten hard. There's been amazing times, there's been character building times, but I've never quit. So it was amazing to meet Inky Johnson. He followed me on Instagram yesterday. So for me, it was all like I said, it was a full circle moment for me, because to go from somebody that I would just watch on YouTube every day and listen to his inspirational stories, and the amount of times that I've watched that video and it's made me shed a tear, it's incredible, because even still to this day, even yesterday I watched it and it still made me shed a tear. So it's just one of those things that is amazing. So St. Louis started off with a great first impression. Then I had some great barbecue. We had a great culture night, karaoke night with the team yesterday, and we have an event today. So if you guys are in the St. Louis area and you guys want to come out to the event, message me that you want to come, and I'll definitely send you some of that information. But just wanted to update you guys on the tour. I know that yesterday we didn't get a chance to do a call, so I appreciate your guys' patience. But let's get into today's training. Today's training is going to be a really, really good one. I wanted to be very intentional for today's training because today is event day here in St. Louis. And I wanted to make sure that not only did I do a training for you guys, but I also did a training for the people that are in the house right now, because I want them to really understand the importance of their gifts, right? So today's training is titled Buried Gifts Don't Build Legacy. Buried gifts do not build legacy. And the reason why I came up with this training was because I was sitting down and I was thinking about it. All of us have gifts inside of us. And this morning, while we were all doing our morning routines, one of the things that I mentioned was that the graveyard is one of the richest places in the world, right? One of the richest places in the world is the graveyard. And the reason why the richest place in the world is the graveyard is because a lot of people took their talents, their gifts and everything, and they died with them. They never actually fulfilled those gifts because they were scared. They never took action on them. They let those gifts die. And I wanted to make sure that each and every single one of you guys understand that you have gifts inside of you. All of us do. We all have gifts inside of us. And believe it or not, if you're not putting those gifts to use, then they're going to die. They're going to die and they're not going to build legacy. They're not going to take you to where you want to go. And I want to make sure that I put each and every single one of you guys in a position to use your gifts, especially the people that are here in the house today. So buried gifts don't build legacy. Now, give me one sec here. I think my Instagram isn't working. Let me restart it again. Can get it going. So if you guys are ready to take notes on today's training, put a 333 in the chat box. Yeah, I see it. It's paused on IG. Put a 333 in the chat box if you guys are ready for today's training. Okay, here we go. Let me just set this up. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, guys, you're back. Yes, I am back. All right, so buried gifts don't. Where is it? Don't build. All right, let's go. Let's get this going. So let's talk about a story first, right? As you guys all know, I love to teach in stories. Now, one of the stories that relates with this is the parable of the talents. Now, if you've ever read or if you ever heard of the parable of the talents, can I get a 2 in the chat if you ever read or if you ever heard of the parable of the talents, right? It's a story in the Bible in Matthew that I want to be able to share with you guys. And I want to read it to you guys actually, because I always know how important it is to understand the stories in the Bible. As you guys know, I love to teach from the stories in the Bible, right? So let me break this down for you guys really quick. The parable of the talents. Now, I love this story more than it's probably one of my favorite stories in the Bible, right? So let's talk about it. Here we go. So they also call it the parable of the bags of gold, right? Talents are bags of gold. So I want you guys to listen to the story real quick, and then I'm going to teach you guys why this relates to this specific topic right here. Because one thing I like to do is I like to relate real life scenarios to stories in the Bible because it makes everything just even more credible and it makes the testimony even more powerful, right? Because if we're able to relate anything to the Bible, everything just becomes even better, right? So the parable of the talents, let's talk about it, right? So in the Bible, this is Matthew 25, verse 14. It's also known as the parable of the gold of the bags of gold. So again, it will be like man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one, he gave 5 bags of gold. To another, he gave two bags. And to another one, he gave 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 more bags. So also the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and had hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with each of them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. The man with 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, You entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. All right, so stay with me. So remember, this is how the story goes. A master came to his servant and he said, look, I'm going to entrust you guys with my wealth. He gave one 5 bags of gold. He gave another one 2 bags of gold. And he gave another one 1 bag of gold. The one he gave 5 bags of gold with, he came back and doubled. They gave him another 5. The one he gave 2 bags of gold with, he came back and he was able to do the exact same thing. He doubled it. All right. This is so powerful. Now, the one he gave 1 to, listen to this. Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. Master, he said, I knew that you were a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and I went out and hid your gold in the ground. So here it is, what belongs to you. So think about this. The one that was given 1 bag of gold, what he did was he took it, he dug a hole and he hid it because of fear. Because he was like, yo, you've worked so hard for this money. I don't want to lose this money. I don't want to lose this bag of gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect it. So I'm going to hide the bag of gold. And here's what the master replied. He said, the master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. You knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. Well, then you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I returned, I would have received it back with interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have abundance. Whoever does not have, even when they have, will be taken from them. And thrown that, and listen to this, this is crazy when I read this, and throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing teeth. Now, why does this relate so much to my story today? Why did I go back to the story and the parable of the talents, the parable of the bags of gold? You see, this is a very powerful story that we can all relate with. And why is that? Well, because think about our topic today. Buried gifts don't build legacy. Buried gifts don't build legacy. And guess what? Right now on this call, we have over 100 people on this call. All 100 plus of you, you guys have gifts inside of you. You have gifts right now. Every single person that's in the Airbnb at this house right now, you have a gift. Everyone listening to this right now, you have a gift. All right. Can you real quick type in the chat box, I have a gift? And if you're listening to this, I want you to say it to yourself. I have a gift. I have a gift. Say it out loud with me. I have a gift. We all have gifts, but we need to understand how to use our gifts. We need to understand how to use our gifts, because listen to the story again. You see, in the story it's important for us to pay attention to the details. The drama is in the details, family. The drama is in the details. The master gave one guy 5 bags of gold. He gave another one 2. He gave one 1. The 2, listen to what he said to the 2 people that actually went out and used their gifts, that used their abilities. The master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. So think about it. You have a gift right now. And even though some of us may think that our gifts are small, listen to what he said. You have been faithful with a few things. Some of you right now, you may only have a few things. You may only have a few dollars in your bank account. You may only have a couple of gifts. You may only have a little bit to give. But if you're able to use the little bit that you do have, you will be granted more. That's what it says in the story. We need to understand that. And then the person that, because of fear, didn't put his gifts to work What did he do? He took away his bag of gold and he gave it to the one that had over 10 bags of more, that had 10 bags of gold. And listen to what he said. For whoever has will be given more and they will have an abundance. That's insane to think about that. To take away the one bag of gold that the one guy had and give it to the one that had 10, which goes to show that if you put your gifts to work, you will continue to have more. That's why the saying goes that the rich get richer and the wealthy continue to get wealthy. That makes a lot of sense now. I never really understood why they say the rich keep getting richer and the wealthy keep getting wealthier and the poor stay poor. I always wondered that. I always wondered why. Why is it that the rich get richer and the poor get poor? This story is a perfect example of it, because the rich and the wealthy, they're putting their gifts to work. And obviously, I'm talking about the people that use their gifts in integrity way and with right and proper character. I'm not talking about the people that do it through bad, malicious ways that don't align with God's purposes and with God's integrity, right? I'm talking about the people that do it with the right fruit and the right seed, right? That's why these people are given more, because guess what? God gives us all gifts. And because we all have a gift inside of us, if we use our gifts properly, God will bless us with more. But look at what he said about the one that didn't do anything. So take the bag of gold from him, give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing teeth. That's messed up if you think about it. He threw the servant outside, took away his gold, and threw him into the darkness. You ever been caught in the darkness and wondering why God hasn't answered your prayers? Why you haven't been blessed? Why you don't have abundance in your life? You ever wondered that? Maybe it's because you haven't been using your gifts. And sometimes the only way for you to realize what you have is by being thrown in the dark. You see, myself, Neno, the first 2 years of entrepreneurship, I was thrown in the dark. I was the servant that was given one bag of gold. And because of my fear, because of my doubts, because of my insecurities, because of my fear of criticism of other people, I never took action on the gifts that I had. So for a long time, I always felt like everything was being taken away from me. Right? Look at what he says. For whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. I felt like that before. Has anybody ever felt like that? That even what you do have gets taken from you? Put a 2 in the chat if you've ever felt like that. Where, whatever, even the things that I don't, even the things that I do have, even the little that I do have gets taken from me. Where you get left with your bank account looking like gas prices. Where your account goes overdrafted. Where your business doesn't grow. The sales that you try to make don't come in. The people in your life, you keep attracting negative people into your life. Listen to the stories. Remember, guys, in the stories, the drama is always in the details. And then throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness. I've been thrown into the darkness. I'll tell you guys right now. Not saying that you stay in the darkness forever, but I've been thrown into the darkness because I didn't use my gifts. I didn't multiply what I was given access to. And here's the reality of it. If you want your life to change this year, you got to put your gifts to work. So here are 4 lessons that you can learn from this story. I want you guys to write this down. Number 1, God gives according to your capacity, but it's on you to grow it. God gives according to your capacity. Everyone starts with different gifts and different opportunities. The question is not how much you were given, but what will you do with what you have? I want you guys to write that question down. This is the question. It's not how much you were given, but what will you do with what you have? It's not how much you were given, but what you will do with what you have. You can't control what you were given. God gave you based on your capacity. When I was living in Washington Heights, New York City, God only gave me a little. And in the beginning, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I didn't use it, and I was thrown outside into the darkness. But then he gave me another chance because we serve a graceful God. He said, you know what? I'm going to give you another chance. And he gave me another chance, and he gave me another bag of gold. But this time, guess what I did? Instead of being ungrateful, instead of saying, well, why didn't I get more? And why this and why that? I said, okay, let me be grateful for the amount that I do have. Let me be grateful for what I do have. And let me take advantage of the opportunity that I have in front of me. What are you doing with what you have right now? Are you showing up every day, or are you complaining? Are you finding ways to make it happen, or are you making excuses as to why you're not making it happen? Are you doing the necessary actions each and every single day to grow yourself so that you can be the person deserving of the things that you're asking for? Because you see, we ask, but the only way we receive is if we are deserving of receiving. If you have not gotten what you asked for, it's because you don't deserve it yet. You see, I've asked for many things, and I have not yet received them. You know what that means? Nano, you don't deserve it yet. Now, God has blessed me with a lot, and I am extremely grateful. But the only reason I received the things that I have today is because, guess what? I deserved it. I deserve the business of thousands of people. I've deserved the multiple six figures that I've earned. I've deserved the ability to travel the world and speak in front of hundreds and thousands of people. I've deserved to build my own brand. I've deserved all these things. I've deserved the great leaders that I have in my business, the great mentors. I deserve those things. So everything that you see that I have today, guys, I don't brag about it to impress you guys. I do it to impress upon you that everything I have today is because I deserved it, because I was ready to receive it based off of the person that I became. Now, I've asked for other things that I have not yet received. I've asked for more money. I've asked for more travel. I asked for bigger impact. I've asked for this. I've asked for a house for my parents. I've asked for so many things. And you know why I haven't received it yet? Because I don't deserve it yet. Because Nano needs to keep growing. Nano needs to build a better relationship with the Lord. Nano needs to be more consistent. Nano needs to be more disciplined. Nano needs to do more and more and more and more and more. So I'm committed to that. Right now, I'm on my journey. God gave me 5 bags of gold. And I'm waiting for him to come back so I can return him the 10 bags of gold now. Because I got to multiply. When he comes back, he needs to see, yo, Nano multiplied what I gave him. Are you ready? Are you ready? I want you to ask yourself this question. If God came back to you right now, he gave you gifts to use. Are you going to be the individual that was given the bags of gold and multiplied it? Or are you going to be the individual that buried the bags of gold because of fear and didn't multiply it? Because when the master returns, he praises the ones who took action and multiply. But then he rebukes the ones who buried it and called them wicked and lazy. Have you been lazy? Have you been waking up late? Have you been lacking to do your morning routine? Have you been scared to post on social media? Have you not been showing up for your events, for your chats, for your people? Write it down. God gives according to your capacity, but it's on you to grow it. So that's point number 1, lesson number 1 that I want you to learn from this. Lesson number 2 is fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. The third servant didn't lose his talent. He didn't lose the bag of gold. He just didn't use it because of fear. That's worse in God's eyes than anything else. That's disobedience. That's disobedience. That's playing small. You can't build a legacy playing small. You got to go out there and push yourself to do the things that put fear in your heart. I remember one of my favorite quotes was, "The best things in life are on the other side of fear." Will Smith said that. I remember I jumped out of a plane in Dubai to face my fears. One of the best decisions that I ever made, honestly. I'm not saying here to go skydive, but man, let me tell you, one of my biggest fears was heights, and I faced my fears by jumping out of a plane in Dubai. Phenomenal experience, but I was never the same ever since. That same year, I made 6 figures. So fear is going to kill more dreams than failure ever will. If you have fear of building your business, that's disobedience. If you have fear of putting yourself out there, that's disobedience. If you have fear to go out and develop skills, if you have fear of criticism, if you have fear of failure, you have fear of any of those things, you think it's not that big of a deal, but let me tell you guys, it's just as bad as a sin, to be honest. Let go of your fear. FEAR. Face everything and rise. Another acronym for it is fear is false evidence appearing real. Sometimes we believe that the things that we say to ourselves or the things that we imagine in our minds are real. They're not. It's false evidence appearing. You can go back and watch it anytime. So lesson number 2 is fear will kill more dreams than failure ever will. And that's the truth. That's lesson number 2. Lesson number 3. Listen to this one. You guys are going to love this one. Faithfulness leads to more favor. Faithfulness leads to more favor. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Wow. You got to be faithful in your actions, guys. You see, every day you got to be and proving your faith through work. I'll never forget the day that I learned that. I went to this event once, and somebody said, faith is like, what do you mean by that? He said, the way that you prove that you have faith to the Lord is through your work. Because if you continue to work through the challenges, through the ups, through the downs, you're proving that you have faith that God is going to provide. So you prove your faith not by saying it, right? You don't prove your faith by saying, "Hey, I have faith." You prove your faith through the work. Every day showing up for yourself, every day getting in the gym, every day doing your routine, every day building that business, every day making the phone calls, every day doing what's required of you. That's how you prove faith. Not by laziness, but by work. And it's a beautiful thing because I have this training also as well, where I have this training. Let me see if I can find it. Well done. Put in my notes. Well done. Good. Where each word means something. I'll tell you right now. Hold up. Give me 1 sec. I know I have the training here somewhere. Here it is. I want you guys to take notes on this. This is powerful right here. Well done, good and faithful servant. Now, each word, this is powerful here because each word actually means something. and well done, good and faithful servant. There's 5 words in that statement, right? Well done, good, faithful servant. Listen to this. This is so powerful. Write this down, right? The word well, this speaks to excellence. Are you doing everything on a day-to-day basis with excellence? Are you doing your morning routine with excellence? Are you building your business with excellence? Are you going to work with excellence? Are you showing up in excellence? Are you doing everything with excellence? You see, regardless of what your circumstances are, you want to do everything with an attitude of excellence. I remember when I first learned this, I've never worked a job, but I was in the room with somebody that did work a job, and they were asking, well, how do I show up with excellence to my job? I remember my mentor said to him, you see, you can't control the fact, right? And I know you're going to listen to that job, but if you show that you have to be there, then you're putting out bad energy, which means you're going to try back. Hey, moving forward, I want you to show up with excellence at your job. Make it a goal to make people's day at your job. Show up with a box of donuts. Make somebody's day, make a customer's day that day. Find a way to be excellent at your job. Show up on time. Do extra work. Give to your people. Take somebody out for lunch. Find a way to show up every single day at your job with excellence. Don't show up like everybody else. Don't let other people's energy become your energy. Be the one that shows up, and when you show up, everybody's happy that you showed up because you shift the energy in the room. Don't show up at your job because you have to be there and you're exhausted and you hate it and complaining about how you hate your job. That's bad energy. Show up at your job with an attitude of excellence. How can you provide a great service? It's temporary, so make the best of the temporary time that you're going to be there. Leave everybody there with an impression of increase. All right? Because excellence is doing the common thing in an uncommon way. So well speaks to doing things excellent. That's number 1. Done, the word done. The word done basically means finish everything you started. You started that book, finish that book. You started your routine, finish that routine. You started that workout, finish that workout. Starting something is easy. Seeing it through the hard part. Keep reigniting that fire, even when it's hard. I'll never forget the words. Keep putting wood on the fire. Keep putting wood on the fire. Do not let the fire go out. Because you see, it's easy to start the fire, but can you keep the fire burning? It's easy for you to start you think about it. People start New Year's resolutions. But did you know that more than 75% of New Year's resolutions by February are already basically thrown in the garbage? Think about that. That's actually insane to even think about. 75% of New Year's resolutions by February have already, you know what happened? They stopped adding wood to the fire. You got to keep adding wood to the fire, guys. Got to keep adding wood to the fire. That's why I always add wood to the fire. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there's not times that I feel down and I feel stressed and it's just a lot. A lot of people look at me and they think that I always have it all figured out and that Nano doesn't go through bad days, but I also go through character building days myself. I haven't taken a day off in this business for almost 8 years. There's people around me that take days off all the time. There's people that relax all the time. I've never taken a day off in 8 years. While everybody quit, I stayed. When everybody took days off, I kept going. When no one wanted to show up, I kept showing up. When everybody lost hope, I kept hope. Because you know what? I kept adding wood to the fire. And I made it a priority that everything I start, I finish. It goes back to what I said this morning at the beginning of the call with Inky Johnson, my inspiration. One of the biggest piece of advice that his mom told him was, whatever you start, you make sure you finish. The process is more important than the product. Listen to those words. The process is more important than the product. The problem with us is that the moment we go through something hard, we stop, we quit, we don't do what's required, not understanding that the process is more important than the product and what you're going to get. Understand that. Remember those words. The process is more important than the product. Because you know what? The product always changes, but the process is forever. Never forget that. The process is more important than the product, because the product always changes. You make a certain amount of money, then you're going to want to make more. You get a house, then you're going to want another house. You get the car, you're going to want the next car. You hit a level in your business, then you're going to want the next level in your business. The product always changes, but the process is forever. The process is forever. So always remember that. That's why I don't care about the product. Am I grateful for the product? Yes, but I don't care about the product. Because I know that the product is going to change. I can tell you guys from experience. I got to a $10,000 a month income. Then I wanted to hit $20,000 a month. Right? I hit a certain level in my business. Then I wanted the next level in my business. I moved to Miami. Now I want this. Now I want that. It always changes. The product is always changing. But the process has always been the most important part. The person I've become in the process. I promise you, this is the most important thing. And let me tell you guys, the process is hard. The process is hard. You know why it's hard? Because if everybody could do it, then everybody would do it, but not everybody does it. The path that we are on, all 100 plus of us, we have over 100 plus on the call right now. The 100 plus of us that are on this call right now, the process that we are on, all of us here today, and the ones watching the recording, we are on the hard process. We don't got it easy. We don't got it easy at all. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, there's going to be tears. Yes, there's going to be challenges. Yes to it all. Yes, there's going to be doubts. There's going to be fears. There's going to be insecurities. There's going to be everything that you could ever imagine. But we chose this. This is the only process that we have, the only option we have, because we're not going to take the easy route. If we do what's easy now, life is going to be hard later. Does anybody here want a hard life later? I can answer it for you. None of us want a hard life later. We all want an easy life later, right? Put a 2 in the chat if you want an easy life later. If you want an easy life later where financial abundance flows through you, you have a beautiful relationship with God, with family, everything is taken care of. You're living in your dream house. You're driving your dream car. You're wearing the most beautiful clothes. You're giving to charities. You're building the church. You're doing all the amazing things that you ever imagined. Money's not an issue. Everything you touch turns to gold. You're giving to people. You know, I unlocked a new goal recently. Do you guys, there's this guy on Instagram. I don't know if you guys follow him, but I think his name is MD Motivator on Instagram. And it's that guy that he goes to random people and just changes their lives almost, like gives them $1,000 and he gives them an option. You want $1,000 or you want a gift basket? You guys know who he is? Yo, I watch his stuff. I cry watching his stuff sometimes. You know, he goes to like, you know, certain communities where people really need the money. And, you know, that's a new goal of mine, to make so much money to the point where I can go to communities all around the world and give and change people's lives and give people experiences the way he does. That's a new goal of mine. I was watching his stuff recently and I'm like, yo, that's a new goal unlocked for me. And if you haven't watched him, go watch him on Instagram. He's incredible. I think his Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, is MD Motivator. But guess what? In order for you to do that, you need to have a lot to give. So always keep this stuff in mind, guys. So let me get back to it because we're almost done. Almost got to wrap it up here. So we were on the word done, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Now, integrity is everything. Integrity is everything. It can take years to build a reputation, and you could ruin it in a minute. It can take years. To me, I don't put my stamp on anything. I don't put my stamp on anything. That's why I don't promote just anything. Guys, you don't think that I just want you guys to think about this. I could have done so many other things out there, other businesses, but they didn't align with my integrity and my character. I will never want to sell you guys or share something with you guys that will hurt you guys. You don't think I could have came on here and shared with you guys so many opportunities, so many things that have been shared with me, and have hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people that I can share things with. But you know what I do? I keep it to myself, and I only share the things that I know can help you guys grow. In all my years of doing Mornings with Nano, I've never shared anything with you guys that couldn't help you guys grow. Never. The only things I've ever shared with you guys are things that I know for a fact will help you guys grow and will help your family. I will never do anything to hurt you guys or your families. The only things I've ever shared with you guys are either a membership for you guys to grow and become a better version of you. I've shared events, and I just recently shared with you guys my retreat, which is basically sold out. I'm gonna finalize it after this week when I go back home. It's been very hard for me to finalize everything while I've been on the road, because while I'm on the road, it's just tour, city to city, city to city. So it's been hard for me to finalize everything. But for the most part, we have almost every single deposit and just waiting on a couple more. I will never share anything with you guys because character is everything. Integrity is everything. You guys can trust me. I will never want any of you guys to feel like, yo, I don't know if I could trust Nano. That's the worst thing ever. I represent all of us. So what do I look like doing something that doesn't represent what we have here? What do I do trying to do something that is not aligned with God? Being a man of God. It's not me. So good is about your character and your integrity. Faithful, like I said, is all about your consistency. Is all about the only way to prove your faith is through work. Well done, good and faithful servant. Faithful is all about the work. You prove your faithfulness through the. I've done Mornings with Nano for 6 years. You know what I'm proving to God? That I'm faithful because I do the work every morning, rain or shine, regardless of circumstances. The only time there's not a Mornings with Nano call is because of a flight. That's the only thing that has ever stopped me from doing a call. Is because I'm in the middle of travels. I've shown up on Mornings with Nano under the weather. You guys have seen me on Mornings with Nano under the weather, sniffling, coughing, congested. But guess what? I still show up. Heartbroken, you name it, I've been here. Because I never want to set the wrong example. I want you guys to know, yo, Nano shows up regardless. I want you guys to do the exact same thing. And then the last word is servant. Write this quote down. If serving is beneath you, beyond you. If serving is beneath you, then leading is beyond you. Your rank or your money or your title doesn't define you. I measure great leaders based on them being able to serve others. Serve others, help others. Help other people become better versions of themselves. Help other people grow. Help other people elevate themselves. Share with others everything else. And that's how faithfulness will lead to more favor in your life. Those words, never forget them. If God came back today, will his words to you be, well done, good and faithful servant. So I'm on number 3 right there. Now, the last point right here before we go. Point number 4 is burying your gifts robs the world. Your talent isn't just for you. It's meant to bless others. Today is about showing up, serving boldly, and multiplying what's in your hand. Imagine if I would have never used my gift of communication that God gave me. Just imagine that. Mornings with Nano would have never been a reality. I would have never been able to inspire you guys and impact you guys the way I have. You know how good it feels to have conversations with my brother Richard, who's on this call, Clem, my sister Jasmine, my brother Michael Howard in the chat, G who's here, all the leaders downstairs that we have, from Jess Torres to Tia Bolden, Zion Lathan, Mark Sanders, Samai, all these amazing leaders that are out here with me. And when those leaders come to me and tell me, because of your servanthood, because you used your gifts, I'm a better person, I'm a better mom, I'm a better leader, I have clarity, I know what I need to do to change my life. That's what it's all about. Because I used my gifts. I didn't let my fear get the best of me. I didn't let the fear of criticism get the best of me. I didn't care what anybody had to say. I used my gifts. And because I used my gifts, I was able to help other people. Facts. I just had this convo with Maritza. So real. It is so real. These are the things that we all got to remember. If you can remember these things, a lot of things can change for you. Use your gifts. We all have one. But if you're not using your gifts, then guess what? If you're not using your gifts, then you're not serving the world. You're not helping other people. You're robbing the world, actually. You're actually robbing the world of your gifts if you're not using them. All right, guys? So those are the 4 lessons that you can learn from the parable of the talents. Today, we were talking about buried gifts don't build legacy. I gave you guys 4 lessons to learn and take from this. If you guys got value from today's training, put a 444 in the chat, right? The 4 lessons were: number 1, God gives according to your capacity, but it's on you to grow it. Number 2, fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. Number 3, faithfulness leads to more favor. And number 4, burying your gifts robs the world. Those are the keys right there. All right. So I appreciate the hundreds of you that jumped on today's call. We have thousands of people that are going to be impacted by these amazing calls. If you guys are not currently following me on Instagram, make sure that you guys follow me on Instagram at Mornings with Nano and at Long Live Nano. Those are my 2 Instagrams that I am using currently right now. We are currently building up our followers so that when we start sharing with everybody all the retreat updates and everything that's going to be happening, you guys are up to date. If you guys want to join the retreat chat, it's in the chat as well right there. I plan on doing a minimum of 2 retreats next year, pushing for 3. So if you guys are not able to come to this retreat that's happening in November, I want you guys to know I didn't even really promote this retreat, to be real. I did 1 call, and then everybody who signed up from that call is the people that I'm picking. I barely promoted this on Instagram. You guys barely see me even talk about it on Instagram because I wanted to give first dip access to the people that have been with me since the beginning. Haven't even promoted it on IG, and it's basically sold out. All right, guys, we had over 50 submissions. I wanted to give you guys access to it, and there's only 12 to 15 spots available. All right, I wanted to give you guys access. So if you guys can't make it to the first one, it's okay. I have at least 2 or 3 more that we're going to be doing next year. All right, so that you can make sure that you guys are a part of that. Can you repeat the names of both your IGs? Well, you're on this one, so Long Live Nano is this one. The other one is Mornings with Nano. When are the next retreats? Great question. I'm planning on doing one basically every 4 months. So starting at the beginning of the year, I want to do one at the first 4 months of the year, then the second 4 months of the year, and then the third fourth month of the year. That's the goal, to do at least 3 next year. Worst case scenario, I'll do 1 every half. When you come into the Chi, great question. That's a question from my sister Jess. She has to set it up for us so I can come out to the Chi. I love Chicago, by the way. Not too far. All right, guys. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your days. And let's go out there. Let's finish strong and go put your gifts to work. I'm going to pray over us and just send God some gratitude so that we can go out there and let them know that we are grateful for everything. So if everybody can just bow their heads real quick and let's pray and let's get this call finished up. Quick prayer. Father God, today we just want to say thank you so much for allowing us to wake up on this beautiful Thursday morning. Today, we want to start off this prayer by saying that we are grateful for the gifts that you have blessed us with. No matter what we have in our lives, we know that everything that you have given us is because you know what we are capable of. And I want to apologize on behalf of myself and anybody that's on this call that if we didn't ever put our gifts to use, we will make sure that after today's call that we will be putting our gifts to use, because we understand that everything that you have given us is for us to use, for us to impact others, and for us to be the examples that we want to see in the world. So thank you for trusting us. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for removing the things in our lives that are no longer serving us. Thank you for clearing the path of the things that are hurting us and are not no longer there for us. We understand what we need to do now, and we're going to make sure that when you come back, that those talents, those bags of gold that you have given us, those gifts that you've given us, we're going to multiply them, God. And we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that we are well done and good and faithful servants no matter what happens, Father. So we just want to thank you for everything that you've done for us. We want to thank you for trusting us. We want to thank you for everything, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I speak on behalf of the whole entire community. So let's go out there. Let's have a great day. Give us the strength to show up every day, regardless of the circumstances. We love you and we appreciate you. In God's name we pray. Amen. 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 Sheesh. That was a good one. We let God know, hey, my bad, God. My bad if I haven't been using my gifts, but moving forward, I will be using my gifts. After today, guys, we will no longer be lazy servants. We're going to put our gifts to work after this. We can't let God down. That's it. It's time for us to put our gifts to work. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Everything that we do is for his praise and for his glory. And I pray that you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another great call for Mornings with Nano. And let's keep running it up. Follow the Instagram, follow the Telegram, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, leave a review, like this video, and let's keep running it up. God bless you guys. Let's go.